Hi Leo, come on in if you'd like to have a seat for some symbolic support. I've got your scroll here ready to go. And we'll do a little scries and in-between divination dose if you want to take a screenshot. I feel like I get crazy, guys, when I do that. So you can scry in your own time and terms to see any shapes or symbols that speak. All right, Leos, I'm going to take a moment, just cleanse the palette of my eyes. You're welcome to join me, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. When you're ready, Leos, let's go. So this is like an in-between little divination dose between the threshold of November to December, and I thoroughly look forward if you join me for your full Rorschach inner reading for December when it comes up. All right, I'm going to dig in here because I am digging the feeling. I'm seeing an airplane, and there's, when there's air shows going on, and I think out here for us it's the snowbirds in Ontario anyway, and they leave smoke trails. So then they make this design in the sky, or will you marry? No, that's a flag. No, it's the smoke stuff. So this is what it's making me feel like. The Leo energy is skyrocketing towards sending messages through the light frequency, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Leos? Through the strength of the sun, like sun rays, but it's direct through thoughts. So I don't know if there's some sort of influence you're receiving from spirit that is of light, or vice versa, and or simultaneously you Leos are harnessing a spiritual strength and speaking it and sharing it with others. That doesn't mean to say like you're knocking on people's door and saying, oh, I sense this. It's kind of like infused. If they're inspired by something you said, you might not have said it directly, but I can see somebody walking into a house, as an example perhaps, and maybe as an intuitive, you're like, oh, I really like this mouse because it stands out to you. So you're not saying anything directly about it, but maybe you as the Leo in this spiritual strength get a sensation that maybe there's a mother energy to it, or there's somebody, a loved one that's passed, or there's just a charged feeling about it. So instead of saying that, it's like Leos have this subtle strength in their speech to be like, oh, can you tell me more about this? It's really standing out. And it inspires the other person to communicate maybe the story or details, or to freely as well say, oh, it's nothing. And they shut you down, but really, it's deep-seated within and they're not really ready to speak about it. Does that make sense, Leo? I feel like that makes sense, and I apologize if I butchered that, because there is a direct focus, and I'm also seeing elephants, but they have anteater trunks. So there's some sort of like vacuuming with a particular grace about this, right? You're not charging at anyone. Like you're not blatantly, did this belong to somebody? Or, do you know what I'm saying? Or I'm getting the feeling. And not that that's a bad thing in that excitement, but there's some sort of subtlety that's coming through. And I'm also seeing a whale, like way, way deep in there. If you can see them like in the caves and caverns. I don't know if this is your eyes, or I don't know what kind of whale it is. It's very, very, very large. And I see a lot of lines. So I don't know what kind of whale that is, even if it's real. But I just see like lots of lines in the scaling of the whale, or in the blubber. It's very big, even though it's in these little containers. So I don't know if there's a part of you that's currently contained, perhaps emotionally, or you're seeing very empathically being more in the water element. And even with the elephant, there's something about big presence, but it's not obtrusive and it's not frightening. Like if you were to see a whale jumping, it's like friggin' majestic. Same with an elephant, right? I'm going to travel on here. Leos, thank you for holding space for me to share my insights. Sorry, I got lost. I'm seeing kissing, 2 people kissing. I don't mean to pause there. I'm like drilling down as I'm trying to see. There's some in this kiss or a peck. Actually, it's how I'm hearing it in this peck. But I'm like, I want to use those big palm fans. Both parties are just very, very pleased. It's how it feels. Very, very pleased. It doesn't have to be romantic because it feels like a peck. Like there's something pleasing about this connection because it's speech to speech, softness to softness. Oh, that is a curious thing I'm seeing here, Leos. I'm seeing what is that? Oh, for heaven's sakes. I have one. A bust. A bust. Okay. And there's this platform. It's metal. Like I feel as though I'm on a high rise, even though it's low in the ink blot. But it's reminding me of seeing a skeleton of a frame being built. Oh, okay. Thank you. And these busts of these people working away. Interesting. And while these wise ones, I'm going to say, Leo, this energy of your wisdom, because it's supported by a string, so it has no fear of falling. It's supported right from the crown of the head up. It's like you've been plopped down to work on this high rise that's being built the skeletal. And somebody's handing you, I don't know if it's a peacock or a chicken, some sort of bird, maybe it's even in the air of Thanksgiving, like a turkey. This is in regards to the symbology of it. Is it a hen? Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's somewhere in there. It's more brown in nature and it may have red or pink. I think it's a turkey or a hen. All right, I'm going to flip it to win it here. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you so much for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. And we are here for the Leo energy. Something's gotten... You've been able to grab hold of something that you really care about or you really like. It just feels likable. And I don't know if this is something new. Oh, okay. It might be something in your intuition. Leos. This, again, that whole subtleness in your speech. And there is something about two lights. I don't know if there's 2 guides around you. Even from the alternative perspective, and I try not to always carry it through, but if it does connect dots for me, I'll listen. So remember when I was talking about leaving the trail of the airplane in your focus, right? And there's 2. And then when I flip it, and you have grabbed hold of something that's likable, and there's 2 candles in here. So I think, like, I don't know, maybe if you have the sensation that 2 new guides have come forward because of what your interest is in. Like you've been inspired and you're like, oh, I really like that. Eternal love. Love is love is love is love, and it transcends spiritual death. This could be a soulmate. The 2 could be a soulmate stepping forward. Excuse me. The sacredness of pausing And the hearth, happiness and hearts. Yeah, I think either you've had guides after what might have been like a cold period, or it just simply a changing of seasons within the self. It feels very spiritual, I'm not going to lie. Just it feels like a spiritual strength, Leos. And this is like suddenly lit 2 candles and some flame of soulful mates. That doesn't have to be romantic, just an eternal understanding between each other, like respect, admiration, adoration, kindness between each other. And it's like, so whatever in your change of the season, if you were going through something earthly or emotional, it sparked this. And if it's not in regards to soulmates in more of the traditional way that one may consider it, but that's not the only way, is it has sparked 2 guides to step forward. Also can put that in the container of soulmates, because there's like a soul mission alignment. And you've received 2 new guides. And this is about bringing that eternal love and happiness not only to your hearth and home, but to those you interact with. I'm seeing some sort of, maybe it's a dress or a jacket, but it has a lot of feathers. Okay, there's a cartoon that has a character. I think it's Rick and Morty. It might be his best friend, Birdman or something like that, but that's what's stepping forward. Because like there's feathers. Could even just be, I shouldn't say could just be, maybe one of the guides is indigenous, or it's like a female phoenix. I don't really know. This is an energy, so I'm not necessarily concerned if it's a female phoenix or if they're always female. It just has this air about it. There's lots of, I can see like the hourglass figure in there with me. And then I'm also seeing it like Elvira or Elmira. Elvira? Elmira. I don't know. One or the other. Somebody is bowing to you in appreciation, and they are helping you. They are helping you by the back of your head. Maybe something about sleep to help your dreams be a little nicer and kinder. Thank you. Okay, so this Phoenix female or indigenous male is truly how I'm seeing it. They are very ornate. In their dress. So I feel like they're people of prominent positions. And I'm seeing little barbells. Like 2-pound weights, 3-pound weights. Like calisthenics. So is that calisthenics? Calisthenics. And who are you, creatures? There are these monks. But if you catch them in a particular lighting, you might think they're like cloaked Grim Reaper feel. I'm just simply saying that's quickly how I saw it, and I'm like, oh, which one is it? My nose is getting itchy, so okay, we're on to something here. When they see you strengthening your spiritual strength, your subtlety of speech, like I don't know, I say like la 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 la, ABC, ABC, ABC. You know what I mean? Like tonal stuff. These monks come in. I don't know what they're doing, but they remind me of the leaf of fall. Like they come in a leaf. And that's like the feeling of kind of like a death feeling, but it's not. Like we might look at the season of fall and see this bright green leaf turning brown and withering. That's kind of the grim look about it. in this monk, but now I'm seeing the brown of the leaf is actually like a foliage and a covering for these monks to work in that seasonal state, and knowing the disintegration of it serves another purpose. So as you're strengthening some sort of muscle, they've come in to help you manifest something. To clean house. I don't know if you can see that with the lighting. Well, trust me. It says clean house of anything that does not serve you, as you are. It's like clearing the throat of my home, of my heart. There's encouragement coming through. Yeah, there's definitely giraffe vibes. If that symbology means anything to anyone, thank you for that confirmation. And talisman 49. I'm going to take a moment. Okay, so there's some sort of balance being had and happening that you are actually cultivating. It's like seeing the monk or the Grim Reaper at the same time, depending on which perspective and depending on which season you're in. But this shedding of a skin, it's like there's, by igniting this heart connection, this eternal love, with these guides stepping forward, or your soulmates. They're all soulmate-esque. It's like the clearing of the house, the clearing of the throat, the spiritual strength. They're there to encourage you because you are a walking, talking talisman. You are a walking, talking talisman. And you have one foot in each world sometimes. Or maybe this is just the feeling. It's like stepping between worlds, seasons, life and death, hearth and home, clearing the throat, clearing the heart. Oh, it just feels, and getting like focus, like an airplane. With the frequencies of this whale, and leaving light for others to look up and feel hope, like you are a walking, talking talisman of hope, even though you're not shoving it down anyone's face. Or maybe you might be a preacher and that is your position, or you might be a speaker and that is your position, and you can say it very clearly, but then also knowing another audience around you that it might be best to be subtle. To ask versus tell. Ask about something for them to reveal. Does that make sense? Okay, Leos. I'm going to leave it there. It feels good. And I look forward to your December Rorschach and reading. If you want to like, share, subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for your awareness and your attention. It is my honor. And until next time, thanks for scrying with me.